I love the extra padding. Yeah, you look Amish.
Yeah. I was working at a lumber company in South Windsor then.
Okay, and then let's just put this.
I'm okay with
Over
just
here.
my sweater, all right?
Yeah. Okay, so introduce yourself.
This is Grandpa Benson,
91.
91 years old, working on 92.
Yes. What's the date today?
16th, isn't it?
I think so.
I think it's the 16th. Yeah.
August 16th, 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Wow. On February 24th, 1929, in the Depression. My father built a house. There was no work, so my father built a house. That year I was born, he built a house too in the Depression.
And where was the house?
In Lowell. Yeah, Lowell, Mass. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's still there too. It was a nice house he built. Yeah. Even in the olden days, they used to put cornerstones the day the house was built. A lot of the old homes have that, you know, and it's still on there, 1929. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how he did it, but I guess my mother's mother and dad, they had a few dollars, so they gave my mother and dad money to build a house because there was no work.
Oh my gosh,
So
yeah.
they figured might as well give them something to do. So they had enough money, so my dad built a house. I grew up in Lowell, and then we moved to Lexington
Oh, okay.
as a teenager, yeah. And I graduated from Lexington High School, yeah. I was
Yeah.
voted the most irresistible boy in the high school. I attended a few of the reunions, too. This was the 50th one here. 46 I graduated, yeah. Why did I say 50? Oh, I got married in 52. And they gave us these things to put on the thing, you know. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice seeing everybody, yeah. I worked all the time I was going to high school. I worked in a shoe store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michelson Shoe Store.
Mm-hmm.
I used to shine shoes. Yeah, all the high school kids used to come in. I used to shine all my buddies' shoes. Yeah, some would lose me a tip, some wouldn't. There was a drugstore right next to the shoe store where I worked. And these two guys, one guy was a big guy and he had big feet. He used to come in every Saturday night and get a shine. He never gave me a tip. So you know what I did?
What'd you do?
When I put the polish on, I put it on the brush lightly so he couldn't feel it on the stocking. But he never said anything. Hey, I'll fix this cheap guy. Never gave me a tip.
You got married in what year?
52.
How many years ago?
Too many.
And how did you meet Grandma?
Oh, she lived in the same neighborhood I was in. There was a big field. I could look out my kitchen window and I could see her house. Yeah. So we met more or less casually, I guess. She used to have parties, you know, teenage girls parties at the houses and. Yeah.
What year was that?
Oh, at 16 or something, yeah, about that time, you know, that was way back, yeah. And her name was Alice. She came from a nice family too, yeah. Her father was he had a cabinet making business. He made the vanity for us in the bathroom. And he made some bureaus that we have too, yeah. Oh yeah, he had a good business. Bruce, he celebrated his first birthday when we moved in.
And how much did you buy the house for?
We bought the house for $12,000.
And it was new.
Brand new, yeah. They got me assessed for $192,000. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. All these houses were. That house was built first, but Alice didn't like the high windows in it. Mm-hmm. You see these houses like that one across the street, the high windows in the bedroom.
The high windows. Oh yeah.
They're high in the bedroom. Mm-hmm.
I
didn't like those windows, so we get all the regular standard windows.
Yeah.
So we got what we wanted when we moved in, yeah, and of course Bruce he celebrated the first birthday. Now he's 65.
Wow.
Yeah.
And retired.
He's retired too, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, we had a good life. We were lucky with the kids. You know, they all grew up, and Didn't have any real problems with us, with them at all. You know, we were lucky. Yeah. A lot of kids, you know, other families around there. I could tell you stories. Some of the other kids who grew up with my kids, they get in all kinds of trouble. You know.
That is true.
When Alice passed away, she was 90. And that's a good life. Her parents were in their 90s too. My parents were only, my mother was 60, 65, and I think my father was 69, yeah.
What do you like to do now?
I don't like to do anything. I used to like to do everything, you know, cut my grass, do carpenter work around, and I used to do everything. I did paper painting, everything in the house. Oh yeah, I used to do everything. Now I'm lucky I could get up and walk around. Yeah.
What's your favorite type of music?
Oh, I like country the best. Yeah.
Who's your favorite artist?
Oh, they're all good. Johnny Cash, all the country.
Our boy Johnny.
Oh yeah, all the country music people are good. I went to Wentworth, and then when I got through Wentworth, one of the teachers, he worked at Command. His name was Bernie Snagowski, and he was looking for woodworkers because when I went to Wentworth, I took up pattern making, you know, making patterns for industry, and he wanted woodworkers, so he hired almost the whole class, my class.
Sweet.
Yeah. A lot of us stayed there a long time. I retired from there, yeah. During the summer, I used to work at a Rex Lumber Company. That was in South Windsor, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I used to run the molding machines and all that. I did all kinds of woodworking there. After that, I wanted to go to school, so that's why I went to Wentworth, and then I ended up down here.
Can you tell me the story about how you used to work for the vet?
Dr. Blakely, the veterinarian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was a good guy. Dr. Blakely, he was our next door neighbor. And my brothers and I, we used to shovel snow, wash his windows, do everything for the guy, you know. And when people would come to have their animals put down, he would say, I'll take care of them, don't worry about it. He owned a lot of property. He had like a hill on the side of his house, and up on the top of the hill was a deep well. But there's no water in it. And whenever he would electrocute an animal or he would inject them, he'd call one of us guys, and then we would pull it up the hill and would drop the animal down the well. He couldn't do that today, I know that.
No.
You know, but years ago, that's what he did, yeah.
It's highly illegal.
Yeah, I imagine it was back then too, but he got away with it because he owned the property, you know. Nobody knew what he was doing. He would charge the people for burying them. The bigger animals, he would inject them, and the smaller ones, he'd electrocute them.
Ooh, with what?
Yeah, he just put the wire on a little tab here and a tie it in, and pull a switch, and they would just go, yeah.
That's horribly painful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but no, that was no painful. They just bingo, that was it, yeah. He'd tell us to take it up the hill. We would, winter and summer, yeah.
What about Korea?
Well, Korea, I spent a year over there. I joined the Army right after high school. Let's see, it was 1940, 48, 47 I spent a year over there because we had a motto, all of us that went over there together. We used to say, the Golden Gate in 48. That meant we were coming home in 48. We got there by boat. Oh, what a ride. 30 days. Well, I showed you a picture of the boat that was on. There wasn't no liner. Like, the Army does has transports. We didn't get one of those. We got an old Victory ship. Oh, what a thing that was. When the ocean got rough, the front would go down and the whole ass end of the ship would come out of the water and shake. The propellers would be going. You'd think the thing was going to shake apart, you know. We were lucky we got there, I think. Yeah. And then when it went the other way, I tell you, we had to stand up to eat, of course. They had a tray, a thing that folded down. So we used to stand up. And, of course, the ship would move while you're eating, and sometimes your food would move to the right or to the left. Oh, I tell you what, we had 30 days of that.
What did you do for 30 days?
Didn't do anything on a boat. Well, the worst part, when you go to the bathroom, you like to have privacy, you know?
Right.
Well, when we were on that ship, they didn't have any toilets
Stalls.
where there was a door or nothing. They had a huge room. It must have been 50 toilets in a row. And you go in there and you're sitting, everybody, you know, no privacy at all. It was an old cargo ship, that's all it was. But we survived. I was an MP. I used to ride around on Jeep all the time. So that was easy for me.
Sweet ride.
I used to have a driver. I never drove it. I wasn't a driver, but I used to have one whenever I went anywhere. We used to patrol at night and during the day. In the city of Busan, that was a pretty good sized city. And we used to have a stockade. We used to have a prison where you know, the guys get into service. You got some naughty boys in there too, like everywhere. And so we used to have to guard the prisons. It was right in Busan where I was, and they had big towers. They had a tower on opposite ends of the prison, and we used to have to climb up to the tower and then sit there. And we spent a lot of time looking down at the prison. It was sad. Here you are protecting your own guys, you know. We got good food over there. We couldn't complain about the food, but I got there in the winter time, and boy, the winters over there, yeah, you couldn't take any showers. Everything frozen, you know. Oh, it was terrible. We used to go to bed and we'd leave our overcoats on. It was so cold. We had to live in these old Japanese barracks because Japan occupied Korea before we got there. We were supposed to repatriate Japanese, get them out of there and send them back home, which we did, you know. But we had to live in their barracks, and of course they were a lot shorter than we were, and they had an upper thing. So you had if you slept down below, you used to have to watch out when you stand up because you'd whack your head on the overhead that got upstairs, you know.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't long afterwards where they built us some nice Quonset huts. We were living in the rough there when we first got there, yeah. And then we call them honey carts in the city. They'd go around and they would collect the human waste from they didn't have sewers or nothing, you know. And they would go into the buildings and they would take it and they'd take it out to the wagon that they haul in and they'd pour it in the wagon, you know. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We call them honey carts because when they went by, almost made you throw up.
Yeah.
I was 17 when they joined the Army. Oh yeah, when you look back now, that's a long time ago. That's a quick history of my life. Not too many people get 91, you know.
That's a long time.
No, Grandma was lucky; she got 90. Yeah, so we had a good life together. 66 years we were married. Yeah, and we had 3 nice kids.
Well, I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting.
It says most irresistible in the high school, Marilyn Rice and Mel Benson.